আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আমার নাম হচ্ছে আজিজুর রহমান। তো আজকে আমি যে বইটা নিয়ে যে বইটা রিড করব সেটা হচ্ছে মাইন্ডসেট। সো আমি মাইন্ডসেট বইয়ের সবচেয়ে ইম্পর্টেন্ট যে চ্যাপ্টার সেটা হচ্ছে চ্যাপ্টার 8, সেটা আজকে পড়ব। আশা করি আপনাদের ভালো লাগবে। যদি আপনাদের ভালো লেগে থাকে আপনারা আমার চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করবেন, এবং যদি আপনাদের ভিডিওটা পছন্দ হয় লাইক করবেন, পছন্দ না হলে ডিসলাইক করবেন, এবং আমি কিভাবে নিজেকে ইমপ্রুভ করতে পারি, আমার ভিডিওটা কিভাবে আরও ভালো করা যায় সে বিষয়ে যদি আপনার কোনো মতামত থাকে আপনি কমেন্টে জানাতে পারেন। ধন্যবাদ। আমি এখন শুরু করতে যাচ্ছি। চ্যাপ্টার 8, চেঞ্জিং মাইন্ডসেটস। The growth mindset is based on the belief in change, and the most gratifying part of my work is watching people change. Nothing is better than seeing people find their way to the things they value. This chapter is about kids and adults who found their way to using their abilities, and about how all of us can do that. The nature of change. I was in the middle of first grade when my family moved. Suddenly, I saw in a new school everything was unfamiliar: the teacher, the students, and the work. The work was what terrified me. The new class was way ahead of my old one, or at least it seemed that way to me. They were writing letters I hadn't learned to write yet, and there was a way to do everything that everyone seemed to know except me. So when the teacher said, "Class, put your name on your paper in the right place," I had no idea what she meant. So I cried. Each day things came up that I didn't know how to do. Each time I felt lost and overwhelmed. Why didn't I just say to the teacher, "Mrs. Khan, I haven't learned this yet. Could you show me how?" Another time when I was little, my parents gave me money to go to the movies with an adult and a group of kids. As I rounded the corner to the meeting place, I looked down the block and saw them all leaving. But instead of running after them and yelling, "Wait for me!" I stood frozen, clutching the coins in my hand and watching them recede into the distance. Why didn't I try to stop them or catch up with them? Why did I accept defeat before I had tried some simple tactics? I know that in my dreams I had often performed magical or superhuman feats in the face of danger. I even have a picture of myself in myself made Superman cape. Why, in real life, couldn't I do an ordinary thing like ask for help or call out for people to wait? In my work, I see lots of young children like this, bright, seemingly resourceful children who are paralyzed by setbacks. In some of our studies, they just have to take the simplest action to make things better. But they don't. They're the young children with the fixed mindset. When things go wrong, they feel powerless and incapable. Even now, when something goes wrong or when something promising seems to be slipping away, I still have a passing feeling of powerlessness. Does that mean I haven't changed? No, it means that change isn't like surgery. Even when you change, the old beliefs aren't just removed like a worn out hip or knee and replaced with better ones. Instead, the new beliefs take place alongside the old ones, and as they become stronger, they give you a different way to think, feel, and act. Beliefs are the key to happiness and to misery. In the 1960s, psychiatrist Aaron Beck was working with his clients when he suddenly realized it was their beliefs that were causing their problems. Just before they felt a wave of anxiety or depression, something quickly flashed through their mind. It could be Dr. Beck thinks I am incompetent, or this therapy will never work, I will never feel better. These kinds of beliefs cause their negative feelings not only in the therapy session but in their lives too. They weren't beliefs people were usually conscious of, yet Beck found he could teach people to pay attention and hear them. And then he discovered he could teach them how to work with and change these beliefs. This is how cognitive therapy was born, and one of the most effective therapies ever developed. Whether there aware of it or not, all people keep a running account of what is happening to them, what it means, and what they should do. In other words, our minds are constantly monitoring and interpreting. That is just how we stay on track. But sometimes the interpretation process goes awry. Some people put more extreme interpretation on things that happen and then react with exaggerated feelings of anxiety, depression, or anger, or superiority. Mindsets go further. Mindsets frame the running account that is taking place in people's head. They guide the whole interpretation process. The fixed mindset creates an internal monologue that is focused on judging. This means I am a loser. This means I am a better person than they are. This means I am a bad husband. This means my partner is selfish. In several studies, we probed the way people with a fixed mindset dealt with information they were receiving. We found that they put a very strong evaluation on each and every piece of information. Something good led to a very strong positive level, and something bad led to a very strong negative level. People with a growth mindset are also constantly monitoring what is going on, but their internal monologue is not about judging themselves and others in this way. Certainly, they are sensitive to positive and negative information, but they are attuned to its implications for learning and constructive action. What can I learn from this? How can I improve? How can I help my partner to do this better? Now, cognitive therapy basically teaches people to rein in their extreme judgments and make them more reasonable. For example, suppose Elena does poorly on a test and draws the conclusion, "I'm stupid." Cognitive therapy would teach her to look more closely at the facts by asking, "What is the evidence for and against your conclusion?" Elena may, after prodding, come up with a long list of ways in which she has been competent in the past and may then confess, "I guess I am not as incompetent as I thought." She may also be encouraged to think of reasons she did poorly on the test other than stupidity, and this may further temper her negative judgment. Elena is then taught how to do this for herself, so that when she judges herself negatively in the future, she can refute the judgment and feel better. In this way, cognitive therapy helps people to make more realistic and optimistic judgments. But it does not take them out of the fixed mindset and it is world of judgment. It does not confront the basic assumptions, the idea that traits are fixed, that is causing them to constantly measure themselves. In other words, it does not escort them out of the framework of judgment and into the framework of growth. This chapter is about changing the internal monologue from a judging one to a growth-oriented one. The mindset lectures. Just learning about the growth mindset can cause a big shift in the way people think about themselves and their lives. So each year in my undergraduate course, I teach about these mindsets, not only because they are part of the topic of the course, but also because I know what pressure the students are under. Every year, students describe to me how these ideas have changed them in all areas of their lives. Here is Maggie, the aspiring writer. I recognize that when it comes to artistic or creative endeavors, I had internalized a fixed mindset. I believed that people were inherently artistic or creative and that you could not improve through effort. This directly affected my life because I have always wanted to be a writer, but have been afraid to pursue any writing classes or to share my creative writing with others. This is directly related to my mindset because any negative criticism would mean that I am not a writer inherently. I was too scared to expose myself to the possibility that I might not be a natural. Now, after listening to your lectures, I have decided to register for a creative writing class next term, and I feel that I have really come to understand what was preventing me from pursuing an interest that has long been my secret dream. I really feel this information has empowered me. Maggie's internal monologue used to say, "Don't do it. Don't take a writing class. Don't share your writing with others. It is not worth the risk. Your dream could be destroyed. Protect it." Now it says, go for it, make it happen, develop your skills, pursue your dream. And here is Jason, the athlete. As a student athlete at Columbia, I had exclusively the fixed mindset. Winning was everything and learning did not enter the picture. However, after listening to your lectures, I realized that this is not a good mindset. I have been working on learning while I compete, under the realization that if I can continually improve, even in matches, I will become a much better athlete. Jason's internal monologue used to be win win, and you have to win, prove yourself, everything depends on it. Now it is observe, learn, improve, become a better athlete. And finally, here is Tony, the recovering genius. In high school, I was able to get top grades with minimal studying and sleeping. I came to believe that it would always be so because I was naturally gifted with a superior understanding and memory. However, after about a year of sleep deprivation, my understanding and memory began to not to be superior anymore. When my natural talents, which I had come to depend on almost entirely for my self-esteem, as opposed to my ability to focus, my determination, or my ability to work hard, came into question, I went through a personal crisis that lasted until a few weeks ago when you discussed the different mindset in class. Understanding that a lot of my problems were the result of my preoccupation with proving myself to be smart and avoiding failures had really helped me to get out of the self-destructive pattern I was living in. Tony's internal monologue went from I am naturally gifted, I don't need to study, I don't need to sleep, I'm superior, to oh, I'm losing it, I can't understand things, I can't remember things, what am I now? To don't worry so much about being smart, don't worry so much about avoiding failures. That becomes self-destructive. Let's start to study and sleep and get on with life. Of course, these people will have setbacks and disappointments, and sticking to the growth mindset may not always be easy, but just knowing it gave them another way to be. Instead of being held captive by some intimidating fantasy about great writer, the great athlete, or great genius, the growth mindset gave them courage to embrace their own goals and dreams, and more important, it gave them a work toward making them real. Thank you, everyone. That is all for today. I will read the rest of the chapter in some other day. Sorry for stumbling so much. I mean, it is my first time. I'm trying to improve. I hope you guys will give me a chance to improve myself. Thank you, everyone. I hope, inshallah, I will see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.